He's doing a really good job. Oh, so wait, so what this didn't just happen, this has been a couple weeks. This isn't his first day being home by himself. That's what I was worried about. Yeah. Little dogs like that. They're good. Oh, yeah.
I have my coffee. I always have it with me. It's like attached. But she never signed on paper. So it's 10 days after the first year or something.
You know, she has some stuff.
It's in the car. I don't know. In the car. They don't have to have it. Oh, that, honey, you wouldn't believe how I drink the coffee. Oh, yeah. Doesn't matter. I drink coffee before I go to sleep. Well, I drink coffee all day, all night. And then
How do you say?
I do. She drinks it all day and all night. And then I only drink half cup before I close my eyes. So when I leave, I drink the rest of it.
Oh, my God.
I didn't train her to do that. I had nothing to do with
She learned
that.
that bad habit on her own.
That's all mine. Yep. And then we got a Keurig. And that just made it worse.
Oh, yeah. I got you with Mary breakfast at Thanksgiving. My son had sometimes he brings things. Oh, yeah. And now it's like 35 flavors.
Oh, see, I just drank one. They got me one last year for Christmas, but I don't know.
Let's call this meeting to order without
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We'll invite that group to sing. It's really the same. She's from Indiana.
Okay, this February 2014 County Public Council meeting. This date, February 4th, 2014, called to order. The meeting will be audio taped as well as videotape. And everyone in the audience here, well enough. At this time, I'll call resident comments.
Go ahead.
Yeah,
Name and address, please.
Kerry Gossett, 107 Southern Avenue. Gossett. I'm wanting to know what happened to the borough website and why it's down.
Well, my colleague volunteered to do the borough website for free, and now that is the Wkcm borough website. He has a videotape of the meeting on there, and we will be given the minutes to post.
What's the web address?
Wkcm.com.
I couldn't find it tonight.
Wkcm.com. Not without the PA.
Okay.
That's not official, right? It's not an official website, it's a Wkcm website that Mike has chosen to do for free.
So we discontinued the official website?
Yes. Until we come to some kind of agreement to make that an official website.
Under whose authority was
Michelle developed that website for free.
for the borough?
Okay, for the borough. And now, I can't, every page that, here's one of the problems I have. Every time any page is called up on your website, like there's a picture of you. And nothing against that, but if it's going to be an official Wkcm borough website, it can't be a Mike Holloway / Wkcm borough website.
Agreed.
Does anybody agree with me?
I agree.
I think if you want to make a motion to give Mike Hall a website, you can make the motion and see if it flies.
No, that's not my question. My question is, when was the motion made by council to abolish our website?
It's not abolished, it's down.
It's
It's not
down.
down until we decide what we're going to do with it.
So it's still our website.
It's still our website, she'll hand it over to you.
But like I said, I don't want two places of information. Do you agree with that? What's a Wkcm resident supposed to think?
I agree.
Okay, but the public needs to know that was, my website's my own website, and I was running for mayor and council at the time, and I had my pictures on it, but that's still officially my website. I don't take no tax dollars for that website. That is all on me. I developed that. That's, so any kind of negative comments about my pictures on it, that's me, and I should get recognition for developing my own website. And providing, I'm not charging $600 a year for doing it.
Okay, you have your name on there, website, live,
Yeah, but
But
what's
that's
the
stuff
problem
we
with
have
my
to sit down
photo?
and discuss.
I mean,
to see what kind of content we want on there.
It sounds to me like he still wants to lay claim to the website.
but I own it.
And that's fine, but if it's gonna be the official website,
It's not the official website. It's not, the official website's down, and we will have to have a vote on who's gonna take it over, if anybody. But Mike Hall is not running West County website. He's running his own website for
With West Virginia contact.
Which I added a lot more features on than what West Virginia Borough had. I got the meetings and everything. Have you been to my website?
I'm looking at it now,
Okay.
but not prior. Because I wasn't aware of it, and Google search doesn't bring it up, so I don't know if you're not promoting it or whatever. I did a search for West Catania
Google does.
an hour ago, and getting no results on that. At least I didn't see it. 'Cause I was trying to pull up previous, are you putting the minutes on?
Yes. But again, unpaid.
You still have,
Yeah, that's gonna take some
Borough
further
asked you to do
discussion.
it?
I volunteered. I did myself.
May I ask a question? Who gives
Why are you complaining?
Well, he's just saying he did it, Michelle was doing it.
Can you give it a minute?
You don't give me, you give me text.
Oh, if he has minutes of this, from.
Okay. So you can email somebody else to do it. Well, yes, I'm looking at residents, you know.
Sound like it was right.
Regardless of what they want to say.
he's been good enough to do it. Yeah.
Mike, your email address so we can email you the minutes, so you can post the minutes on the website.
724-548-4800 at Comcast.net.
Say again, Mike.
724-548-4800 at Comcast.net.
Thank you, Mr. Bosler. Yeah, we need to discuss that. Next resident comments?
Joe Morris, I'm the West Catania Emergency Management Coordinator. I'm here on asking a question of where certain articles were bought in the last couple of years are, without my knowledge, without asking if I needed them, and they were bought with taxpayers' money.
And these reside where, Mr. Morse?
Pardon?
Where are these items?
I don't know. Yun's bought them, Yun's approved them, you purchased them. This seems like something a little bit illegal is going on here.
Anybody aware of those
I would
articles?
say that there was a Rick Conley, because when he was gonna be appointed EMA person for West County, it wasn't official, because his paperwork was never turned in.
I never resigned. I was appointed by the Lieutenant Governor and Governor.
They appoint everybody, they do not.
They
After we
appoint
They
everybody.
automatically appoint, so it's not like.
Pardon?
So after we appoint our person, they automatically appoint.
No. There has to be a legal review.
It's my understanding after the council appoints a person, that they automatically.
No, because I had to go through a lot of paperwork and clearance through the government, through the state government to get the position. And at that time, council didn't even know the requirements and requisitions that had to be done. I am asking only why these funds were expended, how much was expended, and where the articles are, because I have no knowledge of this here to this date.
You have a list of items?
Pardon?
You have the list of the items?
I have a list of one badge, one radio, one light, portable light to be put on a vehicle. Where is it? What happened to it?
We'll look into that. And we're gonna look into see, if Joe is the EMM coordinator, then as provisioned by the governor, then he is that until further changes by the government, the state government.
Okay, that's one thing I wish to state right now.
So, yeah.
Council makes the recommendations as opposed
Okay.
to, we recommended Rick
To
to
the state.
replace Mr. Moore, but never went through the paperwork and
Now,
so.
Oh, we
your second item, Mr. Morrison?
Here in the next several months, I'll be working on a proposal safety for the borough. We'll be re-adjudicating for 2014 our preparedness program for the borough, and it'll be presented here within the next couple months. There's a lot of things to go over since we have grade school, nurseries, ISO for preparedness of the borough, and it could be a lot eye-opening subjects with it.
Does one exist now and you're tweaking it?
Pardon?
Does the proposal exist now and you're just adding to it and tweaking it?
I'm tweaking it very much more in requirements of the state. You got to remember, since 2001, 2011, things have changed dramatically.
Are you working with the county's EMA department on their hazard mitigation plan?
Some
I
of
know
it,
they're
yes.
in the process of updating
Yes.
the plan right now.
Everybody does it every year.
Next.
Patty Colberg, I'm from the Grosvenor Plan. I'm here again about John Oliver's nuisance bulletin board on the hillside at the intersection of 422 and 268. I passed out an article about a fella who had a similar problem, and his billboard that was bothering him was 4 by 6. Ours is 12 by 40 feet, and I talked to him today, gave him a call, and he's going to be sending me some ordinances that they came up with. One that is from the state of Pennsylvania, and one that is in compliance with what's happening in Virginia Beach. I should get them I'll have them for the next meeting. We know that we explained before, and we've gone on about the grandfather clause that it's been there, but in its ordinances, they're citing the signs because, well, they're having a citing here because they want the lights turned down again between the hours of 10 o'clock at night and 7 in the morning.
And we had talked about
We
that.
have talked about it, but everything went south.
Okay.
You've sent letters to John Oliver,
Phone
you've
calls.
gotten nowhere.
Correct.
Is there something that you can do? I will bring the ordinances as soon as I get them. In fact, what I could probably do is make sure you each get them before the next meeting. I would appreciate it if you could please do something. This is a nuisance. There is hardly any traffic. If you come through that intersection at night between the hours of, say, maybe 10 o'clock and even 6 in the morning, there's no traffic. There is no reason why that light has to be, that billboard has to be so bright in our neighborhood. Right now, the trees don't have leaves on them. We have no protection. And our house is like living in a cheap motel at night with those lights. And I
Bring those
do,
ordinances and
I
see what we do. Maybe reach out to him again.
oh, he wants to know what's going on. He said, and I hate to do this now, this man literally boycotted businesses that did all this. I don't want to do that. All I'm asking is for a little bit of consideration to dim the lights at night, turn them down, keep them from flashing, to do something so that we don't have to sleep in a cave at night. We open our windows at night to get fresh air. I think that's just a little bit ridiculous. I don't want to boycott businesses. I am going to talk to someone from the hospital. I am going to make a call tomorrow morning. In the Kittanning paper, there was an article that said that the hospital was in, I don't remember how it was explained, but they were in with John Oliver to do this. And the hospital goes about 95% of the ads on
Yeah,
their
there's a lot of
bulletin.
ads on there.
And I will reach out to the hospital. I'm gonna call the business manager tomorrow to see if there's something that they could talk to John Oliver and do something about that. I mean, I understand, I'm in business. I've lived in this borough for 50 years. I've paid taxes. I've had a business in this borough. And I don't think I'm asking too much.
We're just asking him to be a good neighbor.
Oh, yeah.
He doesn't have to live here and see
Right,
that.
right. And if it's gonna be on all day, fine. I can't even understand how anybody can even read that billboard in the middle of all that traffic. We've got an intersection there. You know, how are we avoiding accidents? I'll never know.
So far, so good.
Okay, and I have one other thing too. I know the borough has an ordinance now for light or signs in the borough. Is there anything on paper what is allowed and what is not allowed? And I'll tell you what my concern is. We have some property in the neighborhood down there that was talking of going into a gas station, whatever. Things could change in the future. I do not want to see a 100-foot sign in the air so that the people on 28 can see that we have a gas station in West Kittanning. I would like to know what is allowed and what is not allowed. Is it on paper?
We do have an ordinance on paper. The only thing that was brought to our attention on mine was that very item, and that's the height of the sign. Size of the sign, yes, but not the height of the sign. But what the, can you look into that, please, Andrew?
Okay, can we discuss this again next meeting?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Quick question, Andy. Could our ordinance for signs, read this, be amended?
This, to include this, you mean, or?
Well, something that, the sign has to be off between 10 and 7 in the morning.
Yeah, I mean, that was what
They would have
was,
to be grandfathered in.
that's what was interesting about this. I mean, you want to be reasonable with these things, basically. And that's the first time I'd seen that where, I mean, they're grandfathered in, but they're still off between 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
So that's the way I read this anyways.
His sign is only 4 feet by 6 feet. Look at the size of ours.
Yeah.
He laughed when I told him what we're dealing with here. He said, I cannot believe you people are not doing something about it.
I think we can do something. I mean, I'll look into
Do
it
you have something for
further.
us next meeting?
Yeah.
Thank you.
While you're on that topic, has that application on a signage ever been completed?
No.
Okay, I mean, do we realize that was back on December 6th, 2011? And it was supposed to, Michelle Cogley was gonna turn it over to Andrew, and that was on August 6th of 2013. And a draft was,
Can you see if you can find out this sign application thing?
I mean, I didn't receive anything from, was I supposed to receive something?
I think I have it.
Apparently.
I'm sorry,
I think I have to give me a copy also, correct?
no.
There is no application. That was
You
in
gave me
the,
none.
the ordinance was passed, but in the ordinance it mentions that there's an application you have to fill out to do a sign.
Yes.
But there was
It was
never any
never-
application
Presented.
form. That's what he's asking.
So we're gonna do that.
And that's when I told everybody when I came to a council meeting, even though I put my sign up, I still abide by what council requested, even though I could have went extreme and I could have had a sign just as big across the street.
Thank you. Next comment?
Ruth Anderson, I live on Hooper. I live right behind Patty. I just wanted to support Patty in her request for dimming it or turning it off. I don't get the glare she does because I'm behind her up on the hillside. When I let my dogs out at night, I can tell when that sign is changing to the next ad, and I can't even see the sign. It's in the back. I'm in the back of the house. I have shadows in the back of my house at 12:30 at night. Shadows just moving around.
And both kids are getting it, everybody's getting it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, Bobby, you know where Bobby Glenn lives?
Going up Briar Hill Road.
Right here, behind Mark Transu, around in that
Oh,
area.
okay.
She even gets it. She's in the, she's North Buffalo or down there. Yeah, she's, I saw her.
She's East Frank.
East Frank. I saw her one night and she said, how do you people tolerate that? She says, it bothers me. I have to put my window blinds down.
We'll see.
Of course, it's in the back. It says
What we do.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a lot. That's a valid.
Living in Vegas.
Yeah, it's like, it's like they live near a cheap motel. You know? Go to the bathroom at night, the lights are all flash.
Next resident comment?
Well,
Mike?
Michael, Ollie. Cliff, I know we talked about the car carrier, and I know you spoke to a guy from PennDOT about that, about unloading and loading vehicles, and that was back in April 2013.
Right.
And council was gonna, where we can make an ordinance on that. Is
Well,
that,
you know, I see that as a problem, but I don't think it's as big of a problem to go in the ordinance form. Because I saw a truck unloading monuments at the monument place before the hill, and all the road blocked off, all four lanes. Okay, while he was backing, I mean, it took him quite a while to get back up in there so he could unload. I mean, I think it's a price of business. I mean, is it somewhat dangerous? Yes. I would, the dealership's approach to please have the drivers put up slow-moving vehicle triangles when you come down around there to alert people who are coming down around the hill, there's something there. I don't know if we want to pursue it ordinance on that.
I mean, I don't know what you do. I think in the summertime, the new ice cream store there, don't they have a delivery there that's parked right on the road? At the, nice,
We've had some traffic issues there.
yeah, but I mean, I think that their truck, their ice cream truck is delivered ice
It
cream.
unloads there
Oh,
too.
I've
Yeah,
not
what's
seen
the-
Just
that.
like the car carrier.
Yes, I mean, we got more than one resident.
Yeah, I talked to PennDOT, they said it's no different than a UPS truck or a, delivery truck parking and making deliveries. That's what they like to do.
But-
Commerce.
whenever we have an incident like up at Greco's, that's whenever,
I know, you said that the last time. Mr. Morrison.
As you're talking about Greco's, well, by the way, my name's Joe Morris, M-O-R-E-S. You say about a safety thing where you might have something at Greco. Last fall, a man was unloading cars there. He stepped out in front of me within 20 feet. I almost killed him. I had to spike the brakes and head for the curb. And I'll tell you one thing, I seen the white of that guy's eyes.
I think they're that bad.
He never looked back. He backed out from unchaining the car and never seen me. And you consider that a lot of safety? It's not safety, it's life endangering.
yes.
Do you think it's life endangering to have that truck unloading cars?
Yes.
Thank you, absolutely. And it's gonna take, it's gonna happen one time, what the carrier getting, the driver getting up on that vehicle, if he slips, falls onto moving traffic, and who's it gonna fall back? It's gonna fall back onto me or another person in here onto your insurance if you hit that man.
And we were worried at one time about a new restaurant moving in that area, about car congestion where there has not been a wreck there in that area. where cars pull into a turning lane and turn, but we have a tractor trailer unloading cars stationary in the middle of a new intersection there, cars coming around.
Well, yeah,
You know, find it hard to believe that there isn't something in the vehicle code
on the
that
VA,
prohibits that, you know, I mean,
you see,
it is
the same as, they figured it, it's the same as the UPL, it's much bigger, but it's making sure that commerce and delivering.
You know, you talk about UPS, you know, it's delivered in town, people, two-lane street, double park. Well, he's not actually double parking, he's blocking the whole turn.
Like I said earlier about the ice cream store, that's a tractor trailer that delivers there too. The tractor trailer right below Nancy's house, that ice cream store.
Yeah, I'm not
That's
saying
not,
that.
I'm not talking about a small.
Yeah, I know. That's what I said.
I mean, and that's actually more dangerous than down there because you got the 3 lanes, you got a
Yeah, plenty
turn
of
lane
fun
down
coming out
there.
there.
I've seen it there before when he had one cone out, cars were going around just to get around. I mean, what do you do? I don't know.
Well, I'll bet in council, if they feel strong enough, then we'll propose an ordinance, and I hate to, you know, log on that business unless we can, okay, but like safety's sake.
Does anybody ever talk to the business owners?
Yeah, we talked to the car dealership and asked them for the driver to put something out, but when the driver's coming down over the hill, and then that was done, but we have a different driver every time, but we can. But if we pass an ordinance, it's going to affect all businesses in West Virginia, the ice cream store.
Have you ever contacted the state police or the state highway?
No, I contacted.
I've talked to the state police and they said that there's nothing wrong with that.
And Cliff, honestly, there's room over there for them to park, unload the vehicles, okay? And the driver told me directly to me. He is told by the dealership, he is not to pull in their dealership. He must unload because they're not going to ruin their payment.
Oh, ruined Troy Allen's thing.
Yes.
A lot of the problem stems from when they put this curb in restricting the traffic.
Well, I mean, you still have to have proper wastewater management. I mean, and that was for that. If we didn't have the curbs, then places would get water, and then we'd have those complaints. I mean, it doesn't matter. Somebody's going to complain.
But what's sad, you still have the empty lot beside the old gas
Yeah,
station.
the-
They still won't pull in there. Do you know why? Because our cars will get dirty. Makes sense, right? I'm not.
Good conversation.
Can I say one thing?
Yes, one thing.
That's only a few feet away from our school bus stop. I've been through there when that has been there and there has been a bus stop there. I
And
mean,
how
it
often,
is
how often do you deliver cars there?
It can vary. I mean, you just never know.
Is it a once a week thing, a once a month thing?
Sometimes
Is
it
it
could
something we
be,
can deal with or not?
it could be,
Obviously not.
it can happen 3 times in a day. It can happen.
3 times in a day.
There has been times where they have car dealers, coming 3 times carriers. Then there's been, you might see them once every 2 weeks. I mean, you just.
That's something I just don't see the daily activity.
And I also have a question also, any updates on the ordinance code book? Is it completed? And if not, when should this be?
Ordinance?
The ordinance code book.
No, we have to send, we have a number of ordinances we have to send to the codification company and get back. We have updates to send, and if we're gonna do this, if we're gonna propose an ordinance for this turn lane, we want to include that too. And we have an update on the tree ordinance, sign ordinance, and that all has to be sent to them.
Okay, and I know I brought up about the curbs on Nixon Avenue. And the borough better think about placing sandbags or something on Nixon Avenue as the hillside is eroding, and I brought this up several months ago to council. This needs immediate attention, or this project is going to be very costly, probably more than the new borough building.
Yeah, we're gonna have this, we'll have a street when we look at
I mean, it's getting bad.
that. Is it worse than when we looked at it?
Absolutely.
I mean, as far as the asphalt already?
The hillside is coming down more, and it's because of the, with the snow and the rain. And one last thing I have, the new surveillance system with the cameras. Are these going to be recording audio and video, or just video?
And can you answer that?
Just video.
Thank you.
Well,
Unless there are other comments?
I have one last thing. Is there a ordinance, an application for soliciting in the borough?
Yeah, I mean, there's no solicitation.
Is there an ordinance for that? Is there an application
Not
form
that I'll
that?
tell you.
We have an application form.
Pardon?
We have an application for it.
The reason being, people say they have a application filed and this and that. They have no tag on them. They should be wearing some kind of identification tag, such as the ordinance number, name, maybe a identification of who they are for.
And it should, and the mayor's signature should be on it also. I mean,
I never seen one in the last 5 years.
I know, like LA Taco has got them.
As long as we lived here.
Around.
Pardon?
LA Taco
Yeah,
has got
I just
them.
tell anybody that comes.
And the guy that was down at Auto parking lot, they got them.
I'm calling for door-to-door solicitation.
They should have permits.
Door-to-door solicitation. I've had 3 different churches, people soliciting for donations. I've had different organizations coming through. You know, they should have some kind of identification that they have applied for an application, have been accepted and given the right to solicit, and have that on them.
Right.
Not saying that, oh, I got one.
see, even if you're proposing that even the school organizations.
If they're soliciting,
team-
it says soliciting, it does not say specifically who. It says soliciting. You made the ordinance, you got the signs up, now it needs to be defined.
I'd like to make a comment on that. Friday, it's around 5 o'clock, we were eating supper, doorbell rings. 2 gentlemen dressed in working golf, they weren't street clerks, they were utility workers with vests on. They wanted to know if we wanted to switch our
West End.
utilities, gas and electric.
They came to our house too.
I questioned them, I says, I identified myself, I said, I'm the mayor. And I says, who issued your permit to go soliciting? And he said, oh, your chief did last week. I said, oh, well, what's his name? I think it's Steve. I got on the phone. Fortunately, our officer, Airgood, was on duty. He came right away and kind of chewed the guys out, and he took them, so I don't know what happened. But I also asked that question to our officers. I really didn't get an answer. Who issues these permits?
The mayor.
So you see yourself situation.
I didn't get an answer.
Yeah, they do.
Let's amend that.
But also comes back on the mayor.
I thought it was the mayor.
Permission, not the
The
police.
mayor.
Want to see if the ordinance-
Then, I don't know if this is the right way, but that's how it's been. It's done.
Who issued the plate top over?
Either Bob or Chris.
I don't know how the public feels.
They paid her $25.
I don't think there should be any soliciting in the town. I don't know how people feel about it.
It's just saying this.
There's too many elderly people. That's why I explained to those 2 gentlemen, I said, we had a case here several months ago. Elderly couple was confronted by same situation. They committed, they robbed the place. And I think these guys were legitimate because they didn't run away. They hung around. But still, I don't like to be having people come to my door.
Agreed.
That's,
I agree too.
So just do away with the solicitation.
Yeah, they're big.
that's about where you start.
It was, well, if we go to 100% no solicitation whatsoever, then people will know that a person coming to your door, whether he has a permit or not, there is no solicitation.
Right.
So we're gonna have to see.
State that we have no enforcement of 16 hours out of the day or even 24 hours a day to be able to call somebody to usher them out of the borough.
Well, that's my other comment. It's fortunate we had an officer on duty. But if he wasn't there that night,
They would have gone to the next house.
what was I gonna do? I'm on a walk.
Call me,
Lock
Jim,
your
I'll
walker
come get
up.
it.
You know, I agree totally with Jim, but Sherry and I just, what about the kids with Girl Scouts or the kids for school fundraisers?
Yeah, it will, I mean, if you say no solicitation, you can't draw the line and say, okay, you.
And you're gonna have the ACLU on your back.
That's what, can you word it? Minors are exempt?
Why
Why not?
You'll have someone sign a minor, move forward instead of an adult, just so they can squeeze underneath that.
Solicitors.
I just want to add their comment about the Girl Scouts and, you know, it would deter them from going out and selling the cookies and all that. Well, nowadays, little kids shouldn't be out going door to door by themselves in houses. They don't have people that live there anyway.
But it happens all the time.
But they
Whether it's
should.
right or not, it happens. We did it when we were kids.
It was a little different that way. It was different.
I think parents take, I don't see kids out by themselves doing it.
No, not about him, just them calling.
Not, I've never seen it. So it takes cookies to work, so.
What about donation letters? That's the same thing, and the fire department sends them out to bore people.
But I can't see Girl Scouts, you know, they usually go door to door, you know, they're not gonna send a,
I don't think they
you know, they can send it to Borough Council.
I'm talking about the fire department sending out donation letters.
Well, that's
That's
totally
different
different.
type of
We're
solicitation.
not going door to
That's through the
door.
mail.
It's not
Going through the mail.
I think you're
That's
just
not door to
trying,
door.
you want to ban basically any in-person solicitations. I mean, that's different than what he's talking about, that's in the mail.
I mean, it's not, the
If
last
you want
time,
blanket, I mean, you can do a blanket ban, which covers obviously children as well.
I mean, I only had a couple instances where kids have come to my door that have been both sports programs. So, you know, if we have those solicitations, that'll put an end to that.
That's where the world has come from.
What are you gonna do? You know, ban all solicitation and some 10-year-old kid from football comes up the street, so take us.
No, just tell them there's no solicitation, what's the deal?
You know what?
You can play that one by you.
Not to hit the 10-year-old kid you're just talking about, but the only way to stop it is in Jim's situation is to make sure these officers find these people. Not the 10-year-old kid, not the church people that come up for the 5K around walking stuff. But these guys that came around a couple weeks ago with windows, trying to sell windows,
So what?
I mean, it was like 2 or 3 weeks before what happened to you. They were up in Squarefish. I think the only way to stop it is to have a police force, draw a line in the sand, whatever you see, we're gonna find them. I mean, there's a minimum, maximum fine, don't quote me what it is, but I'm 99% sure you're supposed to issue the solicitation permits, and then it'll be up to the cop. If they don't have them, they should fine.
And also, all residents should ask for ID to begin with, just like Jim did. That'll stop anybody in their tracks.
Well,
No, it don't. No, it don't. It don't.
I was just gonna say, they do ask for ID.
All I ask for is one thing. They apply for a permit, the permit is given, they have ID that permit was given, hanging on their neck with their name, their company, and the person that issued it.
Okay, that's, all right.
And the date and how long it lasts,
That's
30
great.
days.
Yeah, that's one thing that you asked for, but that's when we got into the conversation about church groups, athletic group, youth group. Do they also apply? Do they have to pay the solicitation fee?
Do you charge a solicitation fee on the permit, Mr. Mayor?
I don't know. I wasn't given yet. Those other vendors paid $25.
That would essentially eliminate any sport groups coming in West County.
I've had people coming down my alley behind me here, soliciting for asphalt, sealing driveways, putting concrete sidewalks in, cleaning gutters, painting houses, church groups, school groups, cable TV, satellite TV.
Meat,
Pardon?
meat truck.
Meat truck, anything,
Meat truck, yeah.
you can think of it.
So you say no solicitation?
All right, well, let's discuss this.
It seems like,
Yeah.
All right, well, it's all good stuff, we'll table it for now.
These
discuss
always
it
come
with
from the
council
same
members,
cut
and see what
fabric.
we come up with. Thank you.
Bernie did it all before. Bernie did it all before. I never figured it out.
Apparently he
What?
didn't.
No, he never did.
What does the ordinance say? I mean, doesn't it say who's supposed to issue it? I don't know.
I don't know, I haven't looked at that.
I would imagine that it should address that in the ordinance. So I unless you want to amend it so that the mayor can do it, maybe the mayor already.
That's
does.
why we need to get these ordinances in line already,
Been years.
so we know what we can have. I don't have no ordinance to LDB anymore.
They should have a hero.
Private agencies.
Like I said before, we need
What's that?
You have the West Virginia ordinance for?
Yeah, it's really old. So I don't know if there's new ones.
Any other comments? All right, just like to call this executive session on personnel.
Before we do that, I'd like to make a motion that we reopen the elections for president of council. Not only due to the fact that I was hospitalized when the first election was taken care of, and I feel that I was jeopardized out of not having a vote.
He is allowed to, you're allowed to basically reorganize because you're appointed by council, so you serve at the president, vice president, any other appointee serves at the pleasure of council. So you basically reopen it, reorganize.
Okay, so is that the form of the
I'm
motion?
making a motion. At this time, I would also, in that motion, like to nominate Bob Wisniewski as president.
Let's just
Okay,
make
the
the
motion is
motion
to
and then,
reopen, reorganize
Yeah,
and
then you can
reopen
make the
the
motion.
nominations of council president.
a motion by Henry to reopen
Not really.
officers for borough. All in favor? Oh, second?
Many years.
Yes, sorry, second. Ed? All in favor? Aye. Okay.
All right, we'll have the roll call vote. Oh, wait a minute.
Nominations
Mr.
of
President, for all officers, actually, right?
Huh?
For all officers?
Yeah, the president, vice president.
Nominations.
I nominate Bob Wisniewski for president.
Any other nominations?
I'll nominate Cliff.
Any other nominations?
And the nomination be closed.
Closed. All right, roll call. Mr. Moore.
Bob Wisniewski.
Myself.
Bob Wisniewski. Myself. Mr. Morris.
Bob Wisniewski.
Mr. Neal.
Myself.
Ms. Capone. Mr.
sworn in yet. Huh? Still has to be sworn in.
Yes, she was. Yes, she was.
She's never sworn in.
She has to file an affidavit of residency and be sworn in before she can participate in council matters.
It's too late. And days after the reorganization meeting. And where is it? And the radio would be in.
Yeah, she's not, from what I understand, she's not sworn in or anything.
No, I just heard it.
She would have that on fire.
Has no voting power, right?
Well, since Mr. Vineski got the most votes in the last election, I will vote for Paul Vineski as president of council.
We want to try again for vice president?
You gotta nominate, take nominations for vice
Yeah, we gotta do that, vice
Do I have nominations for vice president?
president. Ed Morris.
Fine.
Nominate Kenny Trudgeon.
I definitely come. I appreciate it.
I nominate Henry Morris.
Henry? Accept?
Accept.
Anyone else?
Move nominations be closed.
Wait for March
Anyone else?
19th. That's our anniversary. Huh?
I know. Intended one.
What are they gonna do about it? Said I can't nominate. I said, well, I think you're fine. You giving up already?
Nominations be closed.
Okay.
All right, nominations closed. Roll call vote.
Yeah.
Mr. Morris?
You,
Mr. Vineski?
Vote for Henry.
Mr. Morris? Mr. Neal? Mr. Capone? Vice President? Mr. Henry Morris? Make the nominations closed.
No, it has to be on the front.
Excuse me. May I ask, is there an opening out for council? Would there be an opening for council seat?
Right now?
Yeah, do that.
Well, I'm expecting that they come up right now. So
Thank you.
Okay, at this time, I'd like to call a short executive session.
For what?
personnel,
For what purpose?
Personnel, sorry.
I knew you said that. Yeah. I said the cane comes, the water comes, Henry waddles in. He's walking pretty Oh,